This is a Black Nouveau web exclusive. I recently talked with Sola Thompson, one of the 5 actresses starring in Eclipsed at the Milwaukee Rep.
It tells a story that I don't think enough people know about. So it's about the Liberian Civil War, and this particular story follows the women who were affected by the Liberian Civil War.
The play was written by Denai Gurira, who many know from her roles in Black Panther and The Walking Dead. She is an established playwright as well.
Denai Gurira's account from stories that she pulled from interviews and research that she did. So she created these 5 different characters, all women, and it just follows how they all navigate the war that has torn apart their families, really disrupted their lives in major ways, and just the resilience that they still have, the hope, the goals and ambitions that they still hold. So I think Eclipse is really important because it's a human story, even though it's set in a part of the world that we might not know a lot about.
Liberia is a country on the west coast of Africa. It began as a settlement of the American Colonization Society. Founded in 1817, the society wanted to send free African Americans back to Africa as an alternative to emancipation in the United States. It's estimated that between 13,000 and 15,000 freed and freeborn black people left the Americas to live in Liberia during the 19th century. In 1847, the colony declared itself an independent nation. That following year, Joseph Jenkins Roberts, a freeborn black Virginian who had immigrated to Liberia, was elected its first president. Sola was born in Africa, in Nigeria. She migrated to Milwaukee when she was a child.
I moved to Milwaukee from Abuja, Nigeria in 2001, and it was a long story, a long journey to get here. My father won the American Visa Lottery like in '95, and so he left first and came to the States. He was in New York City for some time, and we thought that maybe it would take like 6 months to a year for the rest of us to join him in the States, and the immigration process ended up taking years. And so we didn't join him until 2001. And by 2001, he had moved to Milwaukee for a job. So yeah, that's how I ended up in Milwaukee.
What was growing up in Milwaukee like?
It was interesting. I think while it was actually happening, it was just my new norm. I didn't really have time to process it or be like, what is going on now? Like, how is this different? It was just, I just had to go. I got to Milwaukee, I think like on a Saturday, and I was in school by Monday. So it was like a quick kind of just jump in. And I think now that I'm a little bit older, I can kind of go back and think about that time in my life, that first couple years in this country, and it was tough. There were a lot of growing pains, but I love my story. I love that I have that as a foundation. I think it has made me who I am today.
It was here at the Rep that she saw her first play, Sueño, by Jose Rivera.
I was in high school, and it was like extra credit for my Spanish class. And I came and saw a play, and then I had to write a paper about it. I just remember feeling like I had been transported to a place that I didn't know anything about or never heard about before. And I think that, it was a powerful experience because it was like I walked into a theater and I was in this place that I'd never seen before, and then I walked out and it was like, what was that? Like, what just happened?
This is her second time performing in Eclipsed. It is especially meaningful during Women's History Month.
this particular play lends itself so much to celebrating women and uplifting women, and there's just so much womanness like in the world of this play, and especially thankfully in the productions that I've been part of. This particular production, so we're all women in the cast, the entire design team are all female, and it's just the rehearsal room is filled with women as well. The stage managers are all women. The assistant director is a woman. The director is also a woman. So it really feels like we have created a safe space for women in a world that can sometimes be a really unsafe place for women. So it feels really like even though this play is about war, and the perpetrators of this particular war were men. But still, these women built a home for themselves and a family for themselves, and were able to find ways to thrive despite all of the odds against them. So I think it celebrates women and how amazing we are.
Eclipsed runs from March 3rd through March 29th at the Milwaukee Rep.